Hey guys, Claudius here for second part of the Trust Moogle Utilization Guide, which will cover support and defensive TMRs. And I would like to recap on the typical party compositions that we normally have for each event. Like for King Mog event, we will have 2 Onion Knife, which would represent the damage dealers, chainers that we will bring on the party. And for Raid, we have a lot of damage dealers along with a buffer and a debuffer, which will be represented by Soul Loyal there. Now some of you, if you are strong enough, you'll bring a unit to level up during a raid and still get a 1-turn kill. For story and exploration, you need to drop down 1 damage dealer or chainers and replace it with an MP regenerator, which is represented by Ace, and Healer 2, which is represented by Ayaka. For Vortex Trial, things get even harder and you'll start to need to bring a tank to tank for your damage. Physical tank, dodge tank, or magic tank, which is represented by Bash there. For 10-man trial, you cannot bring items, you cannot bring friends. You need to have a really strong unit of your own. You know, there are requirements to clear stages within a certain number of turns, 20 turns, 30 turns, and you need to defeat the enemy really fast over there. And yeah, you still need to bring all of them, and you can only have 5 in a team, right? And from here you can see that you'll need to bring damage dealing units, whether it is physical or magical attacker or chainers or finishers, the most out of all of these events, which I have talked about before on the first part of the Trust Moogle Utilization Guide. I've talked about the offensive TMR, and now that you are set on the offensive front, you'd want to start strengthening your support and defensive units. So what kind of support does your entire team needs during a particular battle? So these are most of them. You need to buff your status, and Noctes and Roy can buff them up by 124% attack, magic, defense, and spirit. It is the best buff you can get as far as status buff is concerned. There is also the need to debuff the enemy status. Knight Lita can break the attack and magic of the one enemy by 64% with his LB. Veritas of the Light has the best defense and spirit break of 74% to all enemies. And Timothy here, a 5-star unit, this fairy can do a full break of 59% to all stats. And also you definitely need a recovery unit. You need a unit to recover your HP, revive yourself, regen MP, cure your status ailments, even cure stop. And yeah, Ayaka has a skill for each of those. And even Ayaka's Limit Burst can do all of those at once, at a click. Ayaka's Limit Burst can heal your HP by 100%, can revive your unit, can clear your status break, can cure you from stop, can cure you from charm, everything with 1 tap of a skill. And Cho, the little Divine Beast doggy here, it can regenerate your MP by 55% when its LB is maxed out. Really great there. The highest MP battery, the best MP battery ever. And for damage mitigation, we have Chow, Wilhelm, Veritas of the Earth, Ishtola, that can damage mitigation by 54% for 1 turn, which is very useful to pass threshold. You know, when you need to bring a tank, it's normally gonna be a vortex or a chamber of arms trial. Yeah, fallen chamber of arms. Yeah, which is why you'll need the mitigation even more. And these are the best units, the best damage mitigation you can get. And there's also Pod 153 that can grant your entire party a 40% physical damage reduction. And Illusionist Nicole here, and also Toby, a 3-star unit, both of them can they can allow you to evade 2 physical attacks. Like allow the entire party just to evade 2 physical attacks for a couple turns or 3 turns. I can't remember which. But yeah, you're basically invisible for the first 2 hits. And again, you will need to bring an AoE re-raise unit. Like Ayaka only has a dual re-raise, and then Charming Kitty Ariana can have dual re-raise. But Riku and Yan here can do an AoE re-raise, so your entire unit can be auto-revived for 3 turns with the use of their limit burst. And also you will need to buff your elemental status. The best elemental stats buff you can get right now in global is from Chloe, who can buff all of your elemental resistance by 74%. And you can see here, these are the best supports we can get in FFBE global right now. And unfortunately, the best we can get are locked behind their each of their respective limit bursts. So which is why for a support limit burst, I would recommend something that would give you an auto limit, which will boost your limit burst gauge automatically per turn. And first up here we have Pure White Blessing. It can increase the limit burst gauge by 2 per turn. And also in addition, it gives you a HP regen and MP regen as well, a pretty high one at that. So this is a definitely really good support TMR for your support unit. And Jake here, it has an accessory that can gives you defense plus 20, spirit plus 20, as well as Pirate Soul. Pirate Soul will increase your HP by 25%, increase your LB gauge by 1 per turn, increase your LB gauge fill rate by 20%. The fill rate 20% is not much, but it is good enough, and the LB gauge 1 per turn is really good. It is the second best we can get right now in global, and definitely the HP, defense and spirit boost is gonna boost your survivability of your support units. And next we have a magical top hat from Illusionist Nicole. It is the only hat that can increase your limit burst gauge by 1 per turn automatically. In addition, you also get an auto refresh, which is a 5% MP recovery per turn. Not too bad. And down here I have a notable TMR. Let's say if you don't have Ayaka, you can do a TMR farm for Jack's TMR, Ignorance, which can also increase your LB gauge by 2 per turn. Basically for an ability, passive ability, for ability TMR, for ability materia, getting a 2 increase in limit burst gauge per turn is the most. But I wouldn't recommend you getting, feeding your Trust Moogle on Ignorance, but you can definitely farm them slowly if you're already set on the damage dealing part. And then next we have Prodigy's Goggles, which is an accessory that gives you an increase in LB gauge by 2 per turn. So Kelsus is a limited summon unit, but you can get Kelsus for free. And Kelsus TMR, if you followed the raid from a while back, you can get his TMR for free as well. So you should be getting his already by now. If you have Kelsus, you should have his TMR. And you shouldn't be needing to feed your Trust Moogle, but it is the 2 LB gauge increase per turn is the best for accessory right now for auto limit. And then of course definitely if you also need to have a tool that will help you increase your limit burst fill rate. And Riku's pouch is the best item, best equipment that can help you with that. Riku's pouch grants eccentric, which will increase your limit burst gauge fill rate by 200% for 5 turns to all allies. So that is a really huge boost there, considering that 300% is the cap. So you're just 100% away from the limit burst fill rate cap. Really great LB. So you should definitely get this one for your support unit to support your supporters. And down below I have other notable TMRs, which is Mock Wisdom. This is a raid TMR which you should get for free if you participated in the raid event. It will increase your LB gauge fill rate by 50%. So now with combined with eccentric you'll have 250% already. And down to the right we have dual wield. So dual wield for certain units, it will you can equip 2 weapons on both hands, and currently we have 2 weapons that can help you to increase limit burst fill rate. Aigayon's arm, which can boost a fill rate by 100%, and Override from Riku, which can help you increase your limit burst fill rate by 100% as well. So yeah, you can equip your support unit with both weapons to just speed up your limit burst fill rate and keep casting it. Especially some of the really good ones such as Ayaka have a really high requirement for limit burst crystals, 50-ish, and Noctis, his buff requires 30 limit burst crystal. So you definitely will need all of the limit burst fill rate increase as well as auto limit TMR you have to utilize them, capitalize them the most. And with speaking of knuckle weapon, we also got equip fist ability, which will enable any units to equip fist. So yeah, if you need to have a higher fill rate for a certain unit such as Riku or Yan, you can combine all of those equipments for a higher LB fill rate. Next up here we have damage mitigation. Basically pot 153 right now is the best equipment accessory that can grant you a 40% physical damage reduction, and well, this item can grant you that mitigation for 2 turns to all of your allies. And Barusa is the other unit that have that too. Barusa's TMR can mitigate physical damage mitigation by 30% for 3 turns to all allies. But unfortunately 9S and Barusa, both of them are limited units, so once you miss them, you miss them. So as an alternative here, we have Heaven's Guidance, which can mitigate damage taken by 40% for 2 turns to 1 ally. So for general mitigation, outside of TMR, normally it is only 30%, and for limit burst it is as high as 54%. And for TMR, it can give you 40% right away, but unfortunately it is only for 1 unit, so you should probably gonna cast this on your tank. But I don't recommend this TMR. I mean, you shouldn't be feeding your Trust Moogle on this TMR. You should just farm them normally. But it is there if you want it. And yep, like all of the auto limit, all of the mitigations are gonna be useless if your units are petrified or immobilized. Therefore, you'll need a TMR that can protect them or recover from all of the immobilizing ailments. So this here we have, first we have a Lotus Mage Fina, CG Fina's TMR. She is not here yet, but she is coming really soon. And her TMR is actually a head that can grant you a ribbon effect, which will give you a resistance, 100% resistance to all status elements. So this is a head. It is not an accessory such as Kafka's Ribbon, or an ability such as Seven's or Tillit's Discernment and Goddess Protection. So you can still use auto limit on the ability and accessory and have the head here grant you an immunity to all status ailments, except for Storm and Charm, at least for now. And to recover, I know like there are a lot of units that can recover, you know, most healers right now, the meta can recover you from all status ailments. But we have Riku's Pouch here also. Since you're probably gonna get Riku's Pouch for the LB fill rate, you're gonna have access to Panacea, which can cure all status ailments to all allies to when needed. And now let's move on to the defensive TMR. Like you're set on the support side, you know, like you farm all the required TMRs for the support team. And now let's see what kind of defensive tank options you have here. You know, like as the game gets harder, you need to start tanking. And initially you have Golem's Provoke, and then you have 100% Provoke unit here, Wilhelm, White Knight Noel, Demon Rain. They are the provoking tank. And then Gumi introduce a cover tank, cover physical tank, Cecil, Warrior of Light. And then like Gumi introduced an AoE cover physical tank, which is Warrior of Light and Butch, many others there. And the best meta for that is actually Illusionist Nicole, which can turn any of your ally into a 100 physical AoE cover tank. That is the best you can get there. And moving on, like we have a cover magic tank from Mistia or Chao there. Both Chao and Mistia can also do an AoE cover for magic damage, and same with Bash there. And Bash can also do dodge tank. So from here you can see that there are actually a couple of different attacks that you need to consider, which is physical and magic damage from the enemies, as well as single target and AoE attack from the enemy. And so let's focus on the physical attack first. And right now we are able to create a 100% dodge tank to handle all of the physical damage from the enemy. Literally all of them with 100 physical damage. In the future, Gumi may bypass the 100% evasion mechanism with a unit, but right now we can focus on create a dodge tank that can improve your physical attack survivability. First up here we have Ring of the Lucii. This accessory gives you an ability, Holy, which can give you a chance to evade physical damage taken by 25%. So two of them can give you a 50% chance to evade physical damage taken. And of course there are additional benefits from Ring of the Lucii. It can allows you to counter, which will give you limit burst crystal, you know, help you with limit burst gathering, crystal gathering. And you can also recover MP 15, but it's better than nothing when you get hit. It also gives you an ability Alterna Death, and it has a really high attack and magic stats boost by 3%. Really good TMR here. But the main purpose of this one is for dodge tank. And then we have Quick Assault. Right now the best evasion rate we can get out of an ability is 10%, and Quick Assault is the best TMR you can get. You can stack them to. So one Quick Assault can give you 10% evasion rate for physical damage and increase your attack by 3%. So you can equip 4 abilities, you can get up to 40% from Quick Assault and 50% from Ring of the Lucii, a total of 90%. And you can get another 10% from the existing armor. Free armor, we have 10%, we have a weapon with 10%. But we also have a TMR that grants you 10% to evade physical damage taken here, which is Zodiac at Escutcheon, which is Batch TMR. It gives you an effect, Decoy Pose, grants you to evade physical damage by 10%. Really good TMR if you want to build a 100% physical damage dodge tank. Really great TMR there. And of course here I have a notable 3-star TMR that has 20% chance to evade physical damage. I mean, his TMR, I wouldn't recommend you to, I wouldn't really recommend you to feed your TMR to Zack here, because he is a 3-star, and besides there's only gonna be a certain case where you'll be needing 100 physical evasion rate. So I wouldn't recommend you getting such TMR using your Trust Moogle, but you can farm them normally. It has the second best stats, second best physical evasion rate for an accessory, which is 20%. The first best is definitely Noctis TMR. And guess what? This is the best setup we can get out of 100% physical dodge tank. And any unit, since any unit can be a 100% physical evasion tank, yeah, why not just get a damage dealer? Definitely a Ring of Lucii. I equip her here with Ring of Lucii, to Ring of Lucii, to Quick Assault, which will boost your damage, attack damage greatly there, which is why it is more suitable for a physical damage dealer. And Assassin's Fest, it will grant 2B with 100% physical evasion rate, because like she herself has a 20% innate physical evasion rate. And with all of these equipments, I'm able to get my 2B with an attack by 1136. That is a really huge attack stats, considering this is also a physical 100% physical evasion unit. Really great. And this is the reason why you need to get, to focus on a physical evasion rate first for the defensive TMR portion. Like once you are kind of immune to physical attack by 100% due to your 100% evasion rate, you can focus on the magic attack portion, magic defense portion. And we are right now able to get an immunity, like 100% elemental resistance, using this TMR, which will, basically you're gonna be immune to any type of elemental attack, whether it is physical or magical, if you have 100% resistance to that element. And first we have Magic Sanctuary, which is the best TMR that can boost your elemental resistance. In addition, it also increases your LB gauge by 1 per turn, so it's really good there. Your support can boost their limit faster. At the same time, it can benefit your tank as well. So 25% to all elements, increase spirit by 15%, increase LB gauge by 1 per turn. Really good. Rainbow Rope here is a rope, not an ability. It's a rope that grants you to resistance to all elements by 30%, except for dark. Fire, ice, lightning, water, wind, earth, light. It has a high defense stats, it has high spirit stats. And of course, this is the reason why I have Rainbow Rope as the best damage TMR, like damage support TMR on the offensive TMR portion here. And then afterwards, below there, we have Judge Helm. It can also increase your a lot of your all elemental resistance except dark by 15%. Really good TMR there. And below there we have a notable TMR as an alternative to Magic Sanctuary, Melody of Life, to increase your resistance to all elements by 20%. You know, it's kind of a waste to put your your Trust Moogle on defensive TMR, because you definitely need to focus on damage first and then on your support. But if you have extra TMR, I think you can feed your Moogles on Garnet's TMR here. 4 of them can grant you 80% elemental resistance. A huge boost there, really huge. And definitely this here is my setup. This is a Magic Tank setup with a 100% elemental resistance. I equip a Bash with 3 Magic Sanctuary and 1 Rainbow Robe, which will grant him 105% to fire, lightning, water, earth, wind, and light. And then the Demon Shield there will grant him 50% to dark, resistance to dark. So total there's going to be a 135% to resistance to dark element there. Really high. And you know, like with a Holy Wand, Frozen Crown, Jake's Pirate Ring, and Thirst for Survival, I'm able to boost Bash Spirit to 688, and his HP is as high as 9661. Okay, you may have a better setup for Magic Tank, but I think this setup should be good enough to cover most of the content we have right now available. Imagine have Bash tank Bahamut's damage, you know, Bahamut's Mega Flare as well as elemental damage with this setup. Yeah, it's really good setup here that I can get anyway. And now you're covered on the physical front, you're covered on the elemental front. You definitely need to TMR that can help you boost HP and spirit. And I need to mention here why we need to the TMR that boosts spirit more instead of defense. Because like for the defensive portion, you are already set up with a physical dodge unit. If you have a tank with 100% physical evasion rate, you no longer need that defensive stats. So you might as well focus your Trust Moogle on the one that can boost your spirit stats. And first up here, we definitely have Thirst for Survival. It is an ability that gives you 30% to HP and 30% to spirit. This is the best one that you can give to your Magic Tank. But unfortunately it is unstackable, so you need to look for another source there. And then here down below you have Jake's Pirate Ring. It gives you HP by 25% and it grants you a defense and spirit by 20 raw stats. Really good too. And down below we have Zetrich, which is Gladiolus TMR. Gives you a stats defense plus 70, spirit plus 35, and HP plus 15%. Of course, Zetrich itself grants you a it just grants you a 100% attack boost when you got hit by the enemy. Not that useful for a tank anyway. But the spirit and HP increase is really nice. You should definitely feed your Moogle on Gladiolus if you're focusing on your defensive TMR. Down below we have a notable 3-star TMR, which is Mechanical Heart. It increases your HP and spirit by 15%, and it gives you a 30% chance to counter magic or physical by Mechanical Heart, which will heal 800 HP to caster, and it can proc several times in a battle depending on how many times you got hit. This is a really good TMR that you can give to your defensive tank or any unit for that matter. You cannot stack this, But yeah, it's just so good even if you cannot stack them. And yes, you know, you cannot stack Thirst for Survival, you cannot stack Mechanical Heart, and you definitely need to you need additional source to boost your HP. You can get them from Patriotic Recall, from Wrestler. I mean, like, you just farm them normally. You don't really need to feed your Trust Moogle if you don't have enough of them. Yeah. Okay, now it comes to the summary for support and defensive TMRs. And the first one, you definitely need to have an auto limit TMR, so your defensive aspects can be supported well with the auto limit. There are a lot of limit bursts that can support your party greatly. Noctes, Ayaka, Royce, Knight Delita, yeah, a lot of them literally. And you can get the best auto limit TMR from Ayaka, Pirate Jake, Illusionist Nicole for the head, and Kelsus can give you 2 and you can get them for free. And then once you're set on the auto limit TMR, you can get a TMR that can boost your LB fill rate. Riku's Pouch can boost your limit burst fill rate, limit burst gauge fill rate by 200% for 5 turns. That is a long duration there and a high fill rate for sure. And you definitely need to survive, which is why you need pot 153 from 9S, which can grant your party a 40% physical damage reduction. And again, for the support TMR, you need something that can protect your entire team from status ailments. So we have CG Fina. It is a head. It will not occupy the space for accessories or abilities, which you probably gonna want to use for an auto limit. Yeah, and CG Fina is not here yet, but she is coming really soon. Definitely save your Trust Moogle for hers. Very worth it. And Riku there. Her Riku's Pouch have Panacea, which can heal your entire parties from status ailments. And definitely down the line, if there is a skill from an equipment or an ability that can grant you a cure for stop or charm, it is something you need to consider too, to support your team there. And down below we have defensive TMR, so we are gonna focus on a 100 physical evasion rate to evade all the physical attack from the enemy. We have Noctis TMR, we have Shines TMR, we have Butch TMR here. You know, like all TMRs combined, 3 of them. You can literally make or turn any units into a 100 physical evasion tank with their TMRs. Just need to pray to RNG so you can get at least 2 Noctis. You know, that's a 50% already. Just pray to RNG. Once you're set on the physical attack front, you can focus on the elemental resistance front. You know, like some boss attack have an elemental attack, physical or magical, and you can negate those attacks with a 100% elemental resistance, which you can get from Krilla's TMR at 25% all elemental resistance. It's an ability, you can get 4 of them, you can stack them. Really good TMR. And there's also Marie's TMR, Rainbow Rogue, which can grant you 30% to all elemental resistance, 30% resistance to all elements except dark. And Judge Helmet gives you 15% resistance to all elements except dark, and it's a helmet there. Really good TMR to boost your elemental resistance. Even if you cannot get 100% elemental resistance, you get it high enough, the damage will be diminished very significantly. Definitely something you need to consider to get immunity. And then we are gonna, we need to focus on the magic tank game. Right now it is not possible to have a 100% magic evasion rate. So all we can do is just boost the tank's HP and spirit. we don't really need to focus defense right now, because you know, like there's already a physical tank for that. I know like there are some mechanism where it's a magic attack with physical damage, but that's rare occasion there. Yeah, and Crow here has the best TMR for magic tank, HP and magic by 30%, and Pirate Jake there is limited time unit, has the best accessories for magic tank as well. It gives you the highest HP increase, HP boost by 25% for an accessory anyway. And Gladiolus has a shield that grants you HP as well. Yeah, so now we have covered all of the TMRs, offensive, support, and defensive TMRs, based on the typical party setup we normally bring, and you know, for a particular fight. And you can definitely see some TMRs job overlap. You know, like the offensive TMR can do support and can do defensive also. You know, like such as Riku's Pouch, such as 9S, you know, or Noctis. They have multiple responsibilities there. So you know, like for TMRs like those are definitely the ones that you don't have to, you know, think a lot to spend your Moogles on. You know, they can do several stuff at once, right? It's definitely something that you need to prioritize first. Yeah, Rainbow Rope, it can deal damage, it can help you with your defense. Yeah, I guess those are it from me. I hope you have an idea on which supportive or defensive TMRs you should be focusing after you are set on the offensive front. Yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I hope this video is gonna help you with your TMR building. Bye bye.